On the news tonight, House of Representatives calls for gradual withdrawal of old Naira notes. Nigeria Interbank Settlement System set to launch a non-resident bank verification number. United Nations Children's Fund describes immunization as cost-effective intervention to confront preventable diseases in children and abroad. Commonwealth heads of government prepares to defy the United Kingdom reparatory justice. Good evening. Welcome to Delta TV Main News Tonight. My name is Francis Ofulue. The House of Representatives has urged the Central Bank of Nigeria to commence the gradual withdrawal of old Naira notes and make available to Nigerians new notes in 200 Naira, 500 Naira, and 1,000 Naira denominations. This was when the Green Chamber charged the Apex Bank to direct money deposit banks to transact businesses with their customers in new Naira notes to kick off the mopping up of the old ones. The resolution of the House followed the adoption of a motion of urgent national importance sponsored by the member representing Ogbaharu Federal Constituency, Anambra State, Mr. Victor Ogene, during Thursday's plenary session. In October 2022, the CBN introduced new 200 Naira, 500 Naira, and 1,000 Naira notes and commenced the circulation in December of the same year. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Mr. Yemi Cardozo, has stated that the Nigerian Interbank Settlement System, NIBSS, was set to launch a non-resident bank verification number BVN platform to enable Nigerians in diaspora operate their local bank accounts by December. Mr. Cardozo disclosed this while speaking on the sidelines of the World Bank International Monetary Fund IMF meeting in Washington, D.C., United States. He explained that the initiative was part of efforts to ensure that Nigerians, irrespective of their location anywhere in the world, could participate in the country's economy without hedges. Mr. Cardozo said the launch of the non-resident BVN platform by NIBSS would enable Know Your Customer processes remotely, making it more convenient and cost-effective for the diaspora to engage with the Nigerian banking system. In recent times, the CBN has aimed to bolster economic ties with Nigerians abroad by enhancing their access to the financial sector, particularly through streamlined international remittance payments. In May, CBN granted approval in principle AIP to 14 new international monetary or money transfer operators to enhance remittances. As at the end of the first quarter of 2024, CBN recorded a total direct foreign exchange FX remittances of $282.61 million, representing a $18.96 million decrease when compared to the $301.57 million diaspora remittances recorded in the first quarter of last year. The Director General, State Orientation and Communications Bureau, Dr. Fred Ogonesiwe, has reaffirmed his conviction that Governor Sheriff Oborewori will govern the state till May 29, 2031. Dr. Ogonesiwe gave the assurance on Tuesday in Lagos while speaking to a Unilag FM radio correspondent immediately after defending his postgraduate academic dissertation titled Accessing the Public Relations Credentials and Performance of Presidential Spokespersons in Nigeria's Fourth Republic at the Department of Mass Communication, University of Lagos. He assured that the speed of infrastructural and socio-economic development across the three senatorial districts would be upscaled in the coming years, noting that the people were already benefiting from the ongoing programs of the governor as enshrined in Governor Oborewori's more agenda. He noted that the governor's prudent management of the state's resources has saved over 200 billion naira from operating costs, adding that frivolous spending and blocking of financial leakages would be sustained, ensuring that with the proposed 93 billion naira 2025 budget, the governor would turn the entire state into construction sites. On the ongoing crisis in the People's Democratic Party, PDP, at a national level, the renowned political communication strategist assured that the party would overcome her internal conflicts and strategically position herself to win the 2027 presidential election. He pointed out that life during the 16 years of PDP government at the center was better and could not be compared to leadership and hardship currently associated with the present ruling party, the All Progressive Congress, APC. Dr. Ogonesiwe appealed to PDP governors and founding fathers of the party to unite against the dark forces confronting the party, noting that some political gladiators have sworn to destroy the party and make it politically weak and irrelevant before the 2027 presidential election. And now, in a similar development, the Delta State Director General, Orientation and Communications Bureau, Dr. Fred Ogonesiwe, has assured Deltans of Governor Sheriff Oborevwori's commitment to people-oriented projects. Dr. Ogonesiwe gave the assurance in a statement on Sunday, saying that the All Progressive Congress APC in Delta State lack moral and legal justification to force the positive and timely steps taken by Governor Oborevwori to comply with the new minimum wage payment. It disclosed that the salary wage bill of the state was huge compared to some other states in the country, coupled with the wide range of socio-economic and infrastructural development programs currently embarked upon by Oborevwori administration. The Orientation Communication boss noted that payment of minimum wage as approved by the federal government should be considered as an integral part of economic reforms by the APC government at the center, requiring sub-national governments to comply as to improve the living condition of workers and not premised on competition or showmanship as portrayed by Delta APC's media propaganda. He explains that Governor Oborevwori was focused and very strategic in all he was doing for the state, including decision-making, appointments, socio-economic and infrastructural development. He noted the need for Delta APC leaders to work closely with the federal government to address the country's economic hardships, causing unbearable financial stress and extreme poverty. The students of Future Ambassadors International School, FICE, Okpanam Asaba, today visited the Delta Broadcasting Service, DBS Asaba, on an excursion. The 5 students were taken around the DBS operating units, the television studio, radio studio, transmitter hub, mosque, and had the opportunity to watch the Delta TV flagship program, Morning Ride, and the 10 a.m. news on television, as being anchored by the presenters and newscasters. Some of the students, including Ohijeme Okonkwo Charles, while speaking with the journalists at the station, said they had learned a whole lot on the visit, as they had first had the opportunity to see how the news program were presented. The principal, Future Ambassadors International School, Reverend Sister Amarachi Azubike, the head teacher of the primary section, Reverend Sister Imelda Ndubisi, and Mr. Jerry Jasper, a teacher in the school, expressed fulfillment as the purpose of bringing the students for the visit to the broadcasting house was achieved. The students also commended the management of the DBS Asaba and their school for the privilege. The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, has tasked the federal government to improve its commitment to ensuring that children across the country do not lack polio vaccination. The chief of the UNICEF field office in Kanu, Mr. Rahama Fadra, made the call at the commemoration of World Polio Day. He said the event was to raise awareness of the importance of immunization of children to ensure their well-being, explaining that immunization remains the most cost-effective intervention to confront vaccine-preventable diseases, especially in children under 5 years of age. Mr. Farah said despite the progress made in their respective local government area. Meanwhile, as the world marks this year's 2024 World Polio Day celebration, the Anambra State Governor's wife, Dr. Nonye Soludo, has urged nursing mothers to sustain the vaccination of their children in that state. Dr. Soludo stated this while speaking shortly after admitting the poliomyelitis vaccine to some babies at Amobia Primary Healthcare Center, Amobia, Oka, as part of activities to mark the day. According to the governor's wife, there was no recorded cases of poliomyelitis in Anambra State, and it had been like that in the past 10 years because Anambra women were very cooperative in giving greater attention to their children. She commended the State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Afam Ubidike, the World Health Organization, the management of Dr. Nonye Soludo Healthy Living Initiative, and other health partners for their continuous advocacy of a healthy living. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Ubidike, assured that the state government will do everything humanly possible to sustain the measures used in curtailing the spread of viruses in Anambra State. And now the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, says its linesmen have identified the fault responsible for the power outage on the Ogwaji Ape 330 kilovolt kV double circuit transmission line. TCN reported a power outage in the northeast, northwestern part of the north central after the 330 kV Ogwaji double circuit transmission lines 1 and 2 tripped around 4:53 a.m. due to a fault. Providing an update in a statement, the company's general manager of public affairs, Mrs. Ndidi Mba, said the fault was discovered in the Igumele area of Benue State. The company said a team of linesmen from TCN discovered the fault on the line and took action. The general manager affirmed TCN's commitment to addressing the situations quickly and added that the company was urgently organizing the necessary materials for the repair work. Mrs. Mba also expressed gratitude to the government and electricity consumers in the affected areas for their patience. The federal government's technical subcommittee on dam evaluation has assured the public that the Gubi Dam in Bauchi State was in satisfactory condition. The subcommittee, led by Director of Dams and Reservoir Operations at the Ministry of Water Resources, Mr. Aliyu Ibrahim, conducted the assessment as part of a nationwide evaluation of dams. Speaking to newsmen after the inspection, Mr. Ibrahim said the reason for the evaluation of the dams across the country followed the collapse of a structure in the Alau Dam in Borno State, adding that the committee would not comment on the internal condition of the dam until further assessments were complete. Some parts of Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, suffered a heavy blow by water following the collapse of the Alau Dam. And now, an appeal has been made to the government, the private sector, and spirited individuals to come to the aid of a 12-year-old sickle cell patient, Ukekwe Sarah, who has been hospitalized for 4 months. Here is a report.
An appeal has been made to the state government, the private sector, and spirited individuals to come to the aid of a 12-year-old sickle cell patient, Ukekwe Sarah, who has been hospitalized for 4 months. The mother of the child, Ms. Akwe Ewere, who hails from Eka North East local government area, said her daughter, whose ailment is yet to be ascertained, has remained at the Asaba Specialist Hospital for the past 4 months, receiving medical attention. According to Ms. Akwe, who is a single mother, her daughter has been sick and the situation has remained deteriorated, which had led to her inability to walk. Ms. Akwe said her daughter's predicament had drained her financially, hence her appeal to the state government, private sector, and good-spirited Nigerians to help her save her only child, whose father had abandoned her several years ago, as she had bore the burden of all the medical bills alone.
I am out financially. That's the reason I'm doing this. See how the government and the goodwill can assist me. Even as I speak right now, my shop is shut down. No financial assistance from anywhere. I seriously need help.
12-year-old Ukekwe Sarah, who is hospitalized at the Asaba Specialist Hospital, appealed to Nigerians to help save her and keep her educational dreams alive as she hoped to become a medical doctor in future. To give financial assistance, good-spirited individuals, the private sector, and the state government can reach Ms. Kweke Akwe on her GSM number 07067222078 or pay into her UBA account 2031224567.
And now to a rather exciting story. Preparations are in top gear for a novelty football match between the Pointer newspapers and Delta Broadcasting Service Asaba as part of activities marking the 30th anniversary of the Pointer. The football match tagged Clash of the Titans will feature veterans and professional footballers and is billed to hold at the Stephen Keshi International Stadium, Asaba, tomorrow from 4 in the evening. A statement signed by the coach of the appointed team, Moses Etu, and his DBS counterpart, Bridget Agetu, has enjoined staff of both establishments to come out in their numbers to cheer their teams to victory. The monthly sanitation exercise will hold in the state on Saturday, October 26. A statement by the Director, Public Communication and Functioning Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information, Mrs. Teresa Oliko, says there would be no restriction of movement of persons and vehicles during the exercise. The statement urged residents to cut overgrown weeds, clear the drainages, and keep their environment clean to prevent the spread of diseases. The statement added that the Honorable Commissioner for Environment, Mr. Ejiro Jamru, the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Mini Oseji, staff of the Ministry, Task Force, environmental and relevant authorities will evacuate the resultant waste to approved dump sites. The Delta State Secretariat examination for confidential secretaries and secretarial assistants has been scheduled. The Director, Public Communication and Functioning Permanent Secretary, and the State Ministry of Information, Mrs. Teresa Oliko, in a statement says the examination will hold on Monday, 18th through Saturday, 23rd November 2024 at the Staff Training Center, ICE Road, Asaba, at 9 in the morning daily. The venue for those at the Warri access is Hussein College, Warri. You're watching Delta TV Main News at 8. Still to come, Commonwealth Heads of Government prepares to defy the United Kingdom reparatory justice. Stay with us.
Where is Glory?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Hello? Oh, where Glow now?
I did here.
Glow, don't go village. Tell all our customer abi.
Everybody pay attention. See, now Glow dedicated 10x. Now him I they take tension my customers. Now they dash me 10 times the credits when I load. Or even summer me double data join.
Yeah. Wait, so with 1.5 when they give on the boss, so you they enjoy up to 15,000 naira credit and data.
And I say I never finish you. See, when I say if we enjoy, if we not join Glow dedicated 10x, when I go get 1,000 naira welcome credits. Finish.
Glow, you don't win.
Una see they here. Hello, please, I'm looking for Glow. Please save now Glow with the fine. Now Glow with the go. Okay, so
enjoy 10 times the value of your recharge on Glow Berekete 10X. You also get 1,000 naira for calls and data and double data bonus on your subscription.
You're watching Delta TV Main News at 8. We go straight to the foreign scene where the Commonwealth Heads of Government are preparing to defy the United Kingdom and have agreed on plans to examine reparatory justice for transatlantic slave trade. Report says Downing Street had insisted that the issue was not on the agenda for the summit of the 6 Commonwealth countries, which would begin in the Pacific island nation of Samoa tomorrow. The Foreign Minister of Bahamas, Mr. Frederick Michel, said the heads of government would play active roles in bringing about inclusive conservations, addressing the harms that they agreed to prioritize, and facilitate additional research on the transatlantic trade in enslaved Africans and chattel slavery that encouraged and supported the discussions to form a way forward. Mr. Michel said reparatory justice for slavery could be in many forms, including financial reparations, debt relief, an official apology, educational programs, building museums, economic support, and public health. So on the foreign scene, striking Boeing workers have rejected a new offer from the plane-making giant, which included a rise for over 4 years. The International Association of Mechanists and Aerospace Workers Union said its members voted the proposed deal, adding that more than 30,000 of Boeing employees had joined the walkout, which started on September 13 after an initial offer was rejected. Boeing had declined to comment on its latest offer being rejected. According to a report, it was the second time that the striking workers had rejected a proposed deal in a formal vote, adding that the previous offer was turned down last month by workers. Earlier, Mr. Odberg, who took over as chief executive in August this year, said he had been working feverishly to stabilize the firm as it worked to repair its reputation, which had been hit by manufacturing and safety concerns. He stated that it was a big ship that would take some time to turn, adding that it has the capacity to be great again. The Bowen's boss, Mr. Kelly Odberg, warned that the company was at a crossroads as losses at the firm surged to roughly $6 billion. The Turkish government has said its military struck sites yesterday night in Iraq and Syria linked to Kurdish militant group, the Kurdish Workers' Party, after blaming it for an attack near Ankara that killed about 5 people. The Turkish Defense Ministry in a statement said no group had claimed responsibility for the attack, in which about 22 people were injured, adding that a total of 32 targets belonging to the terrorists were successfully destroyed in the retaliatory attack. Report says the Kurdish Workers' Party was banned as a terrorist organization in Turkey, the US and UK, and had been fighting against the Turkish state since the 1980s for greater rights for the country's significant Kurdish minority. The Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces today said Turkey had launched a new wave of attacks, including the civilian gatherings, killing 12 persons. The Turkish Defense Ministry earlier said that all kinds of precautions were taken not to harm innocent civilians, friendly elements, not to destroy historical and cultural assets and the environment. Let's now join our business news desk for happenings in the business sector.
First Bank has announced plans of transmission to a new cloud-based procurement and financial platform as part of its ongoing strategy to improve operational efficiency in service delivery. The Tier 1 lender with over 42 million customers said today that the migration, scheduled to begin on Saturday, October 26, was expected to result in temporary service disruptions. This move came amid a wave of recent disruptions in the Nigerian banking sector as several financial institutions underwent upgrades to the core banking system. Since September, about 4 major banks in the country have switched their core banking applications, including Tier 1 lenders such as Zenith Bank and Guaranty Trust Bank. The Dangote Petroleum Refinery has started supplying premium motor spirits, popularly called petrol, to some oil marketers directly without recourse to the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. It was gathered that while more oil marketers were intensifying effort to buy the product directly from the plant, others were importing the commodity as hundreds of millions of liters of imported PMS should hit Nigerians' shore in 2 weeks' time. It was reported yesterday that no fewer than 4 vessels carrying imported PMS arrived at seaports situated along the nation's borders between Friday, October 18 and Sunday, October 20. The report cited a document obtained from the Nigerian Port Authority which showed that about 123.4 million liters of PMS were berthed at 2 seaports to improve fuel supply nationwide. As the committee made the announcement, operators said the market had been fully deregulated and they would approach the refinery to apply for PMS lifting. The price of a 50 kg bag of local rice rose year on year by 152.9% to 95,738 naira in September 2024 from 37,853 naira in September 2023. Data from National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) selected food price watch for September 2024 showed that the price of 1 kilogram of local rice stood at 1,914 naira 77 kobo during the period. The report also showed that the price of beans recorded higher growth rates at over 200%.
Business to sports, the Super Eagles of Nigeria have made a significant leap in the latest FIFA rankings, jumping 3 spots to 36th in the world. The upward movement has propelled the 3-time African champions Back into the continent's top 5 teams, the Super Eagles' sole match during the review period was a 1-0 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying win against Libya's Mediterranean Knights. The scheduled reverse fixture between the two teams was cancelled due to a logistical issue, a development being investigated by the Confederation of African Football, and the verdict is eagerly anticipated. Morocco lead Africa as Argentina stayed top in the world. In the current rankings, Morocco leads Africa at 13th, followed closely by Senegal 20th, Egypt 30th, Nigeria 36th, and Algeria 37th. The reigning African champions, Cote d'Ivoire's Elephants, have dropped off the top 5 positions in Africa, now ranking 40th. Globally, Argentina maintains its top spot, but France and Spain are closing the gap. England, Brazil, and Belgium retain their positions, while Portugal and Italy move up within the top 10. And here's our thought for the day. Self-discipline means doing the things that are good for your future and things you do when no one is watching. And now to end the news, the main points again. The House of Representatives has urged the Central Bank of Nigeria to commence the gradual withdrawal of old Naira notes and make available to Nigerians new notes in 200 Naira, 500 Naira, and 1,000 Naira denominations. This was when the Green Chamber charged the Apex Bank to direct money deposit banks to transact businesses with their customers in new Naira notes to kick off the mopping up of the old ones. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Mr. Yemi Cardozo, has stated that the Nigerian Interbank Settlement System, NIBSS, was set to launch a non-resident bank verification number BVN platform to enable Nigerians in diaspora operate their local bank accounts by December. Mr. Cardozo disclosed this while speaking on the sidelines of the World Bank International Monetary Fund IMF meeting in Washington, D.C., United States. The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, has tasked the federal government to improve its commitment to ensuring that children across the country do not lack polio vaccination. The chief of the UNICEF field office in Kanu, Mr. Rahama Farah, made the call at the commemoration of World Polio Day. And from the foreign scene, we reported that Commonwealth heads of government prepares to defy the United Kingdom reparatory justice. And that's the news. Many thanks for being part of it. My name is Francis Ofunwe. Have a lovely evening. Good night.